Hi, everybody. Hi, Dr. Nick.
David Mitchell.
Yeah. Hi, welcome to Mainly Murder with Meg and Mum.
And Mum.
And Mum. I'm Meg.
Hi, Mum.
I'm Mum.
Notice when we did that podcast with the two guys in America,
Santana True Crime.
no, one point there was no mention of my name. It was just
and
Mum.
It was
And
just
Mum.
and Mum.
Yeah, it's not like my name's David, my name's whatever. Fine.
I
And
think
it's
we've
Mum.
only said your name like once.
Probably. It's for privacy reasons. I'm in witness protection.
You're an idiot. I do have a
I
correct.
like my story better.
Mine's more truthful.
I'm in witness protection. You're what?
I do have a correction from our last trivia episode that went up on
Mama.
Patreon. In question 2,
Oh, God, here we go.
I said the lady's name was Sherry Panini. Papini.
Seriously? You had to correct that.
Panini is a sandwich. Papini is her last name.
Does anyone care?
Probably. They would have everything on Panini. Even when I was editing it, I was like, it's not Panini.
So why don't you fix it during editing?
Because I can't.
Don't call me that.
So today we have the case that our lovely, one of our favourite listeners in the whole wide world.
Mel or Sal?
It was Sally.
Sal.
I did say one of our favourite. The other few weeks ago when we went to watch Mel's lovely short movie called My Left Hand Girl.
Yes.
We'll ask Mel, but I think she said it was on YouTube. So
It is, yeah.
It is? Sorry. That was too much.
That was a bit over the top. It is.
It is.
It is.
I will get the link and I'll put it in our show notes and I'll put it on our Instagram. But it's me and Sally were talking about this case that weekend.
Was I there?
Yeah, no, maybe. You were there.
I know I was there on the weekend, you idiot. Because poor old Sal thought she'd
If you
left
keep
her...
touching your microphone, it's going to come
sorry.
up.
No, she thought... Remember when I went over and said hello to her and she thought she'd left her
She thought her phone was
her
on.
iTunes was
Yeah.
playing and it was... Because she could hear my voice.
She's like, oh my God, they're next to me.
I'm
So
hearing her voice.
Fuck, I left my podcast on. I always think that though, because I will listen, like if I go to the supermarket or whatever, I'll put my AirPods in and put a true crime podcast on. I'm like, if my phone
Are you
disconnects.
serious?
Yeah.
You listen to a true crime podcast while you're walking around the supermarket.
Yeah.
Oh my, you fucked.
Anxiety.
So,
So, yeah.
do you hear what's going on around you then while you're doing
I
that?
only have one in, like a little AirPod. Anyway, so I listen to that, and I always think if my AirPod disconnects from my phone and it just starts playing out loud, it's going to be like, and they brutally slit her throat.
Yeah. And someone be like, who the hell is she talking to?
I'm like, oh, who's that?
Who's that? Oh, who did that? Okay.
Anyway, so this
Anyway, back to
is,
Sal.
As the title says, today we are talking about Anita Cobby.
Oh, okay.
So, Anita Lorraine Lynch was born on the 2nd of November 1959 in Sydney, New South Wales. Her parents were Gary and Grace, who I think went by Peggy Lynch. So it was Gary and Peggy Lynch. Gary was a graphic artist with the Royal Australian Air Force, and Peggy was a nurse. When she was in her teens, Anita participated in beauty pageants and won the Miss Western Suburbs pageant in November 1979, which won her a trip to Hawaii.
Okay.
Instead of pursuing the career of being a model, she decided to follow her mum and she went into nursing.
I was going to say at the start she was a nurse, wasn't she?
Yes. While studying for her nursing degree at Sydney Hospital, she met John Cobby. John never really had going into nursing in his head when he was at school. He lived near the beach and he spent more time with the waves than studying.
Fair enough.
Also, in his teenage years, John got the nickname Bomber as he had learnt how to use penny bungers with a cigarette filter.
That's fireworks, aren't
Yeah,
they?
little firecracker thing. With a cigarette filter, which would be used as a delay timer, which would set off an explosion. So he would set them off in the toilets, and by the time it would go off, he'd be back in class.
Yeah.
In 1975, John finished school with reasonable grades and then just kind of drifted for a while. He'd spent the first year after he finished school and travelled around Australia. He then went through a few different jobs and soon ended up working in the laundry department of Gosford Hospital.
Gosford.
What did I say?
Gosford.
Gosford. Yeah, fucking...
Gosford.
Tomato.
Fucking no. Gosford.
It's still G-O-S.
Oh, my God.
He wanted anything to get out from the laundry. And where most of his days were spent cleaning up sheets with all sorts of bodily fluids on them. He spoke to the hospital administration and he was told about a trainee nurse position coming up. And surprisingly, he actually loved it. He ended up becoming restless and went off to become a skiing instructor.
After doing nursing?
Yeah, he started his nursing training and then he was just like, I'm bored, I need something.
God, something shiny seems to distract him, doesn't it?
Became a skiing instructor, then he worked at a pub. Then he ended up moving in with his grandmother and decided to restart his nursing career, and he ended up at Sydney Hospital. John said about when he first saw Anita, quote, "Just these ringlets of hair everywhere. God, she was beautiful, and I thought, far too good for me. I was thinking to myself, she will never go out with me."
Aww.
Anita wasn't just beautiful. She was described as a caring soul, a natural nurse, and someone who sincerely felt for her patients. Michael Sorey from the Prophet restaurant, where Anita and John had their first date and had many more. So Michael was the owner of the restaurant and they became like friends with them. They'd go there so often.
Mm-hmm.
So Michael said, "That first date, I remember them being totally into each other. She was beautiful with this dazzling smile. In all the time I knew her, I never saw her in a bad mood. Always smiling. The two of them were so happy whenever I saw them together."
Wow.
While planning their wedding, John came home one night and found Anita bursting with excitement. She finally told him that she was pregnant.
Before they got married?
Yeah, God forbid, lady.
No, but just a bit unusual.
For the time.
Yeah.
Sadly, just a few weeks before their wedding day, John found Anita crying in the bathroom and she had lost their 9-week-old baby.
Oh, that's sad.
On the 27th of March 1982, Anita and John got married at the Rockdale Catholic Church. John said about the day, "Father Frank performed the ceremony and I just remember standing there as proud as punch, feeling stupid with this grin I couldn't take off my face." They ended up renting a house in Rockdale and got 2 dogs, a Great Dane
Name Nate?
named Tiny.
Where'd Nate come into it? How'd you get Great Nate?
Dane, dyslexia, and a Kelpie named Lucy. In around 1985, John wanted to try training horses.
Oh, God.
He'd always had a passion for
Done
horses.
everything else. He might as well. Sounds like a jack of all trades, master of none.
Well, he liked horses.
Well, he liked nursing. He liked fishing. He liked...
When did I say fishing?
I don't know. I'm getting tired.
Anita supported him and they moved to the outer Sydney suburb of Bombi. They both got new jobs at a local hospital.
Bombi. All right, this isn't funny. Bombi.
John worked night shifts so during the day he could train the horses and go surfing. John won about $10,000 from a horse race. So $10,000 in 1985 would be about $35,000 now.
Nice.
Due to these winnings, the couple decided to go travelling. It was like a belated honeymoon for them. They headed off from Sydney and went over to Los Angeles.
Oh, well, yeah, I've been there.
Then over to New York.
Yep, been there.
By a Greyhound bus, stopping at other places.
Jesus, that would have been
a
long, yeah.
After
Route 66.
After America, they headed over to Italy and then Greece.
Wow.
They'd now run out of money and sadly had to return home from their amazing holiday.
Yeah.
When they
That's huge.
Yeah, well.
Well, just the America, like Australia to America's far enough, and then America to Europe's massive flights as well.
35 grand.
Well, they burnt through it though.
When they returned home, John was happy to have gotten the travelling out of his system. Was ready.
You don't get travel out of your system.
Was ready to settle back into a normal, stable life. Anita, she just wanted to keep travelling, but like...
I figured that
when
you said she didn't want to come back.
Anita and John...
travelling.
Were going through...
Wanted to keep travel.
Anita and John were going through a rough patch and they were temporarily living separately.
Oh.
They had been apart now for about 6 weeks, but the tension was easing and they'd even spent hours talking things out. They'd realised that the problems they were having seemed little and that their love for each other... they loved each other too much to end their relationship.
Mm-hmm.
They decided that they would...
How long was this after their marriage?
It's like
about 4 years. Okay.
Yeah.
I just meant, was it like 12 months later or they'd travelled and then come home and...
Yeah.
Yep. Okay.
They decided that they would find a new house and hit the reset button on their relationship. On Tuesday, the 4th of February 1986, John was driving to his sister's birthday when he heard on the radio, "The naked body of a young woman has been found in a paddock at Prospect in Western Sydney. Police are yet to identify her."
Oh, Jesus.
This anxious feeling had been gnawing away at John as Anita hadn't shown up to work the day before and she hadn't let anyone know at the hospital she wouldn't be coming in.
He didn't go around and see, well, if she hadn't turned up the day before.
Maybe he just thought she was sick or... Like one day, like sure, but it wasn't like, oh, she hadn't been there for 4 days.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
He pulled over on the highway and called Anita's parents' house from an emergency phone. The woman at the other end said, "You've got to get back here, John," and then they hung up. John at this moment was 80 kilometres from Sydney, so about an hour's drive away.
Yeah, at least.
He made a U-turn on the highway, crossing 4 lanes and going over the medium strip.
They told him to get home and they didn't tell him why, so he thought the worst.
The Sunday night before, she had planned to meet with her friends in Redfern for dinner. Anita had a shift at the hospital that day and finished about 3 p.m. and changed into a pair of red and white vertical striped jeans, white linen sleeve tops with 3 buttons at the neck, a thick black leather belt with a round silver buckle, a pair of light brown moccasin type slip-on shoes, and her black tote bag.
It's very detailed.
Thank you. The 3 women headed off to a restaurant in Cleveland Street where they ate and had 2 bottles of wine between the 3 of them. At about,
At about,
at about 30 p.m. I'm going to guess about 8:30.
Okay, yep. Let's make up numbers now.
Well, it said at about blank 30 p.m. they paid their bill and left. At about 9 p.m. Anita was back at the train station.
Okay, well then 8:30 probably fits in.
Yes. She caught the train to Blacktown Station where she would usually ring her dad to pick her up, but the phones at the train station were all out of order.
Oh, shit.
She was last seen at about 10 p.m. leaving Blacktown Station and walking home. Detectives had been...
How far did she live from there?
Walking distance.
Oh, my God.
Fucking, don't ask me.
Walking distance.
Well,
anyway.
Tell me I'm wrong.
I just meant, like, was it something normal that, okay, it's only a couple of blocks, you could walk it, or shit, nobody's turned up, I can't ring anyone, I'm going to have to walk 5 Ks home, is what I meant.
I think it was walking. Like, it was summer. The
weather's got nothing to do with how far she lived from the fucking station.
Yeah, but it's a bit cold and raining. You're not going to walk even if it's around the corner. I'm not going to walk even if it's nice weather. You are
if it's 9 o'clock at night and it's dark and you just want to get home.
I don't know if I say it. Anyway.
Jesus Christ.
Detectives had been to Anita's home and her family had been shown a ring the victim was wearing, which they confirmed to be Anita's wedding rings. Anita's father, Gary, was the one who went down to the morgue to formally identify the body.
God.
When they pulled back the covering, his knees buckled and he said, "I wish I could say it's someone else's daughter, but it's not, is it?"
Oh, just went all cold.
That evening on the 4th of February, John was taken down to the Blacktown police station. The questioning started gentle at first and then rapidly turned into, "Did you kill her, John? You know you did." John Cobby was very quickly ruled out as a suspect. The police report of the discovery of Anita's body read, at 11:30 a.m. on the 4th of Feb. 86, a dairy farmer, John Francis Reen of Monhaven Reed Road, Blacktown, investigates an object on his property known as the Boiler Paddock. This is a leased paddock from the water board where he grazes cattle. He had noticed an object about 11 a.m. this date from the roadway when returning to his property. His attention had been drawn to the area where he saw the object by his cattle milling in one area, which appeared to be unusual to him. The body appeared to be that of a young female, completely naked, and devoid of any means of identification other than 3 gold interlocking wedding rings on a finger on her right hand.
Surprised I didn't steal them.
She was face down with her legs apart and there were obvious severe lacerations to the right side of her neck.
God.
Her autopsy report read, lacerations particularly on the right side of her neck, was somewhat irregular. On the right-hand side of her neck, there was virtually complete destruction of tissue, muscles, nerves, arteries, and veins, and the spinal...
Destruction of nerves, arteries and veins. God.
And the spinal column bones were depressed, and the spinal canal entered in its upper extremity. So basically the bones in the spine were crushed inwards, and the top part of the space that holds the spinal cord was damaged. Abrasions over the upper and center quadrant of the right breast. Upper measured approximately 1 centimeter in diameter, and the lower abrasions 2 centimeters by 1 centimeters. Left hand, defensive wounds on the outer part of the left hand running down the outer edge of the middle finger, which measured 6 centimeters. Other lacerations running across the tops of the middle fingers and thumb. Severe lacerations to the inner middle finger and the ring finger on the left hand, severely damaging the tendons on these fingers, and smaller superficial lacerations on the base of the left thumb. Right hand, no visible injuries. Upper arms, series of small abrasions and contusions of both upper arms, but more pronounced on the left upper arm. Left shoulder, number of small abrasions on left shoulder. Right leg. I feel like I'm playing Twister.
It's intense.
A number of small lacerations extending along the length of the outer side of the right thigh and right leg. Small lacerations on the front of the right knee. Small series of lacerations on the back of the right thigh. Left leg. The lacerations are similar to the type as the outer right thigh, except on the interior of the left thigh and leg. Back. Linear abrasions, 11 to 12 centimeters in length. Posterior wall of the right chest, extending upwards and laterally from the midline about the center of the chest. The anus was dilated up to 3 centimeters with recent lacerations present. Cranial cavity. Removal of the scalp revealed when they did the autopsy.
Yeah, obviously.
Multiple bruises with small hematomas present. The brain was soft. No evidence of severe hemorrhaging. Petechial hemorrhaging present, which is pinpoint-sized red or purple spots on the skin or mucous membranes caused by minor bleeding from capillaries. She also had maggots up to 4 centimeters.
Jesus.
4 centimeters in length present along the medulla and brainstem of the fourth vertical. So Anita Cobby by now was now the victim of one of the worst homicides in Sydney. She was a defenseless young nurse who was trying to walk home, and she was abducted, attacked, and murdered. On Friday the 7th of February 1986, John Laws, who was the unofficial king of Sydney radio...
Yep.
Oh, you know who that is?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Jesus Christ.
I didn't.
As you said, he was huge.
Well, he's the unofficial
He
king.
was like how we have Darren Hinch down here. He was kind of... Everybody knew him and listened to him.
Well, he had received a fax through a leak about the details of Anita's injuries. Shortly after 9 a.m., he broke protocol and read out a large part of the autopsy report live on air.
Jesus Christ. I would switch. I would never go back to that radio station again if I was listening to some, even though it's like a 3AW type scenario news. If someone's just started reading that shit, I'd be gone. I'd be like, nah, fuck that shit.
This is what he said. Live, let's remember, this is live on radio. The deceased suffered from a number of wounds to the neck, which severed the carotid artery, trachea, and esophagus, and spinal cord, and apparently died from severe blood loss from all 3 wounds. The neck injuries were so severe that the head was almost severed from the body. There was bruising and swelling to both eyes, consistent with having been punched, together with a number of bruises to the skull. An x-ray of the body will be taken on the 5th of Feb 86 to establish whether both shoulders have either been dislocated or fractured. There were several other lacerations apparently caused by a knife to her face and multiple lacerations to both hands and fingers. 2 fingers on the left hand were fractured and some joints were almost severed. The body showed other signs of being beaten, probably during a very violent struggle, which Dr. Malouf considers has taken place prior to death. So he read that on live radio.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's disgusting.
John Law said that he spent hours that morning deciding if he was going to read it out on air. He ultimately decided he would because the public had a right to know what these bastards had done to her. Just a week after Anita's murder, current Premier at the time, Neville Ran, put up a $50,000 reward for information, and a few days later he increased it to $100,000. The first small breakthrough in the case was a phone call report that came into the police station on Sunday night. The message taken down said, at 9:49 p.m. the Sunday at probationary constable M.L. Brown, telephone message number 2/123. A call from Mr. McGaughty. It looks like naughty, but with a G. Of 87 Newton Road, Blacktown, requesting see police about a suspicious car. Sergeant 2/Class Maloney attended and spoke to Mr. McGaughty, and he and his sister Linda heard screams, looked outside, and said it appeared girl was forced into a grey Holden which drove south along Walters Road. Police patrolled, no result. John McGaughty and his sister Linda, who had witnessed this happen, called the police, and they're only 13 and 14 years old. Their older brother Paul arrived home just minutes after they heard the screams, and they decided he would drive around and try find this Holden. They headed towards Reed Road, as this was a well-known park-up spot. While driving up Reed Road, they saw a red Sigma Scorpion car parked on one side of the road, and a little further up they spotted a 1970 Holden parked on the other side of the road. No one was in the car, but it was very similar to what his younger siblings had described. A couple days later, Paul saw the same grey Holden driving, and there was 4 men inside. Also on the same night, other people in the street had heard a woman scream and being forced into a dirty white or grey Holden. The police then decided to do a public reenactment of Anita's movements on that Sunday night. A young probationary constable named Debbie Wallace was about the same build and age as Anita. The reenactment did gain a lot of media attention, but unfortunately it didn't result in any new leads. Debbie did end up becoming a detective because of the Anita Cobby case. Debbie did become a detective and formed a very close bond with Anita's family. Early on in the investigation, police had been made aware of an 18-year-old man named John Travers, who was described as evil and twisted. John had been involved in a rape of a man in Western Australia, where he held a knife on the man's neck while raping him. He was also wanted in South Australia for attacks. There was also a rumour that he had raped a sheep in his backyard, slit its throat, and then cooked it for dinner.
Oh, for Christ's sake.
John Travers and his friends, 18-year-old Michael Murdoch and 22-year-old Leslie Murphy, went higher and higher up the suspect list, especially when they found out that the 3 had stolen a car matching the description of a dirty white Holden on the Sunday that Anita had been murdered. It was a little hard for the police to track down these men as they led very transient lives. They just got through life drinking, getting stoned, and squatting at people's houses. So, really upstanding citizens, great guys. On Friday the 21st of February 1986, detectives and members of the Tactical Response Group set off to raid 2 locations. One team went to the house of John Travers' uncle in Wentworthville. As they entered, a large fish tank had been broken, and there was now water and tropical fish all over the floor. John Travers and Michael Murdoch were dragged out of a bed that they were sharing and taken into custody. Underneath the bed they were sharing, they found a blood-stained knife in a sheath.
In a what?
Sheath. A knife sheath.
Oh.
At the same time, John Travers' family home was being raided, and Les Murphy had been taken into custody, as well as a Holden station wagon. The 3 were now being questioned in regard to the stolen vehicle. At this point, the police were sure they had their murderers, but they didn't have enough to actually charge them. They were each asked about the murder of Anita, and all three denied having any involvement.
Of course, they're not going to fucking admit it, are they?
No. When John Travers was asked about his involvement with the stolen car and the knife under his bed, he replied, quote, "I didn't slit that slut's throat."
Okay, well, that kind of puts you in the picture
Asking
there,
about
mate.
the fucking car and the knife, and he's like, "Oh no, didn't slice anyone." When he said this, the detectives hadn't even mentioned Anita's name or the murder yet. He was just asked about how the blood got on the knife.
So he's a smart cookie.
Yeah, bright future he would have had. He said that the blood on the knife was actually just from a sheep that he had killed a few weeks ago in his backyard.
Mm-hmm.
Throughout his hour-long interview, John kept pricking his finger with a paperclip and then licking the blood off.
Oh, okay. It's weird.
Yeah, he's a fucking creepo. All three young men were formally charged with the theft of the Holden. Michael Murdoch and Les Murphy were granted an conditional bail, but John was kept in custody due to being a suspect in attacks and rapes in
other states,
Toongabbie in Western Australia. As soon as Michael and Les left the cop shop, they had police surveillance on them. John asked if his auntie could be called and told about where he was and if she could bring him a packet of cigarettes.
Oh, God.
When the auntie was called, she began to cry. She told the officers for the past 2 weeks she had wanted to contact the police about John, but she was too fearful of the consequences. They agreed to meet in about an hour and she could get whatever she wanted to tell the officers off her chest. She told police that she had a strong belief that John had been involved with the murder of Anita Cobby. He had disclosed to her that he had raped both men and women interstate. He
told his auntie this.
Yeah.
God, I hope I'm never that fucking close to my nieces or nephews that they think they can tell me this shit, because I'd kick their ass and I'd have them tied to a fucking seat while I called the cops.
Yeah.
Fuck me.
He liked knives and usually kept one on him wherever he went. The next day, on Saturday the 22nd of February, John's auntie came to the police station to drop off his cigarettes. After John and his aunt spoke for about 20 minutes alone, she walked out when the detective could see she was shaking. She collapsed crying into the detective's arms and said, "He did it. He killed her." She was taken back to the detective's office where they wrote down her official statement. John had told her that they were trying to pin the murder on him. He asked her to go to the house and... Oh my God, your cat just scared the shit out of me. It's Angel.
Focus, bitch. Come here, fatty.
Not moving.
Not you, you fuckwit.
John had told her that they were trying to pin the murder on him. He asked her to go to the house and get the knife with a brown wooden handle out of the knife drawer.
Put it just back in the kitchen drawer?
Yeah, he told her to get rid of a knife that was in the knife drawer.
Oh my God.
She asked him if this was the knife he had used to kill Anita, and he said, "Yeah, it's my best knife."
Oh, yeah, duh.
He would have had that, "Yeah, it's my man now."
Why you feel he's like
fucking
that?
Stupid,
Well,
yeah.
we know he's a fuckwit. Is he dead?
He then asked her to get his really faded jeans and then go see Les and make sure that he gets rid of the car. John then confessed to her that Michael...
Obviously thought this auntie was on his side, didn't he?
He thought he was fine talking to her.
Fucking idiot.
John then confessed to her that Michael Murdoch, Les Murphy, and Les's brothers, Michael and Gary, had all had sex with Anita. This statement was a good start, but it would never hold up in court. This is when they asked his auntie if she would visit John a second time, but this time be wired.
Oh, God.
She agreed, even though this was a massive risk to her.
I was going to say, they should have wired her up the first time she went in.
Wow.
She already had said that she thought he was...
I think it's very much like they were a fucked family.
Clearly. If you think you can sit there over a fucking cup of tea with your auntie and go, "Guess what I did today?" "Oh, did you, mate?"
Raped a sheep. She agreed, even though this was a massive risk to her. They brought her children into the station as well as her partner, who was John's uncle. When he was told about the situation, he fully supported her. Even his uncle was like, "You wear a wire, you go sort this shit out."
Yeah, he's fucked. Let's lock him up and get rid of him, and then he's no longer our problem.
The aunt and uncle went to John's house and did what he asked. Unfortunately, the actual Holden used to abduct Anita was never found.
Oh.
So I don't know what they did with it.
Well, maybe they didn't have to tell whoever to go and get rid of it. They already went, I better get rid of the car.
Yeah.
They've already got him. They're going to get me next.
The detectives got the warrant to allow them to wire the aunt up, and she went to visit John again with a new packet of cigarettes.
I come bearing gifts.
Here's your cigarettes. All they got from this conversation was John asking his aunt to get the older Murphy brothers, 28-year-old Gary and 23-year-old Mick, to bring some shotguns to help him escape.
Oh, for God's sake, you dipshit.
After all her help, the aunt and her family were put into the witness protection program.
Oh, really?
Do you know each other in the witness? No?
What?
We started this fucking episode with you talking about the witness protection program.
I wish I was, because then you can't communicate with anyone you fucking currently know, which would work fine. I've got no problem with that whatsoever.
Don't make me spray bottle you.
Hey, that's for the cats.
When Michael Murdoch and Les Murphy were arrested, police also executed a search of John Travers' home and found the clothes he asked his aunt to find and a number of knives. The other men were interviewed again, and they threw John under the bus as the one who actually committed the murder.
Of course they did.
John was pulled out of his cell and interviewed again by detectives for over 3 hours, where he told them what happened to Anita.
Oh, this is going to be creepy.
I
don't know how you research this shit.
They had grabbed her as she was walking along Newton Road and forced her into the car. They immediately started attacking her and pulled all of her clothes off and raped her in the car. They then stole money from her purse and bought petrol. They then drove to Reen Road, and all 5 men took turns sexually assaulting her.
Gutless cunts. I hope they're all dead.
I think one couldn't even get it up.
Oh, I fucking hope someone's, if they haven't already been killed.
When the detective asked how Anita died, John said that he had just pulled her head back by her hair and cut her throat. When they were taken to court, there was a mob of people outside. There were posters that read, "Hang the bastards."
Yep.
And people made nooses and hung them on the buildings opposite the police station.
Good. So they fucking should. People like this, I got no, they don't even deserve a fucking trial.
On their way to court, the police had to slowly drive through the crowds of people that were rocking the police car.
Well, should have let them out. Should have just opened the doors and gone, there, you deal with them. Yeah. Then the taxpayers' money don't have to deal with these sort of fucking low lives.
Oh no, the car locks didn't work.
The doors opened and people took them out and beat them up.
I accidentally knocked the window rolly down. No, probably in those days you couldn't. You would have had to.
Yeah, you would have had to been winding your little heart out.
On their way to, just read that, 3 out of the 5 men were now in custody, but Gary and Michael Murphy were still out there somewhere. A few days later, they got a tip of where the brothers were and raided the house. Michael Murphy told detectives that yes, all 5 were involved, but he actually didn't rape Anita because he couldn't get an erection.
Oh, because he's a limp dick fucking cunt. He couldn't. Oh, no.
Limp dick fucking cunt.
Yep.
He told detectives that after they were done assaulting and beating Anita, they were just going to leave her in the paddock.
And they wouldn't have known her from Jack.
They wouldn't have known her at all.
That's what I'm meaning. They wouldn't have known her at all. They would have just seen her walking from the train line.
Yep.
Purely because the phones weren't working.
Yep.
And went, oh, there's an easy target. No one's around. Let's go.
And there were 5 of them.
Cunts. This story deserves the word cunt.
Yes.
So I don't apologise for using the word cunt.
You'll throw it in there again?
Fucking probably will. The story's not finished, so keep going.
They'd all started walking back to the car when John turned around and headed back to where Anita was laying. Michael explained that John had said he was going to cut her throat, and then he came back covered in blood. In all, it took over just 20 days after Anita's body was found to have the killers behind bars.
Good.
That's fucking amazing that it only took 20 days.
Yep.
On Monday, the 16th of March, 1987, the trial began and all 5 entered a plea of not guilty.
Oh, you fucking lowlifes.
The trial was set to go for 6 weeks, but on the first day, John Travers pleaded guilty to all charges of murder, kidnapping, rape, assault, grievous bodily harm, and stealing. On the 10th of June, the jury had reached a verdict. Michael Murdoch, Gary, Mike, and Les Murphy were all found guilty of the same charges as John. The judge then imposed the following sentence. He said, John Raymond Travers, Michael James Murdoch, Leslie Joseph Murphy, Michael Patrick Murphy, and Gary Stephen Murphy. Second count, abduction, 16 years. Third count, assault and rob with wounding, 17 years. 4 count, malicious inflict actual bodily harm with intent to have sexual intercourse, 12 years. Car theft, 5 years. First count, murder, penal servitude for life.
So all of them got life.
All 5 files were also marked never to be released.
Yay! I like a happy ending.
As of this recording, John Travers is at Wellington Correctional Centre. In 1996, he attempted to escape with another prisoner but was quickly rearrested.
Dickhead.
Michael Murdoch is at Goulburn Correctional Centre.
Goulburn.
Do
you live in Australia at all? Have you ever,
Shut up.
Have you ever been out of Melbourne, you fuckwit?
Gary Murphy is also at Goulburn Correctional Centre.
Mm-hmm.
In June 2019, he was severely beaten by several other prisoners in a shower block and was transferred to hospital in a critical condition.
Oh, what a shame.
Les Murphy is at Goulburn Correctional Centre. Michael Murphy died in Long Bay Hospital on the 21st of February 2019 at the age of 66 from liver cancer.
Oh, that's a shame.
What
Should
a
have been
shame.
something more painful.
There is a park in Sullivan Street, Blacktown, named the Anita Cobby Reserve. And that is the case of Anita Cobby.
Some of these stories are just fucking horrible. I don't know how you research them and read
Again,
them and...
Very important to be told. Their name needs to...
Oh, yeah, their name needs to be remembered, but what happened to them...
No,
Just
it was...
disgusting.
Yeah, five
gutless
men.
Fucking pencil dick men that took 5 of them. Like, what? Because they couldn't get a route on their own? They couldn't pick up a chick in a bar at a party, whatever. So the only way they could get a fucking hard on was to
one of them
take
couldn't
it.
even.
Well, one of them couldn't. There you go. Pencil dicks. Getting
okay?
angry. No, I'm not.
Okay.
It's fucking disgusting. It's a horrible story.
It is, but yeah. I don't even know what to say. Thank you for listening. I hope you...
No more suggestions from Sal. Sal's been banned for at least a month. No more Sal.
Oh, well, you can follow us on Instagram at mainly_murder. You can follow us on TikTok at mainly_murder. You can send us an email at...
Oh, don't.
She's too angry.
What is it? MainlyMurderPodcast at gmail.com.
Round of applause, everybody. And you clap, you bitch.
And you can tell me if you agree that they're cunts and they're pencil dicks.
Pencil dick cunts.
Because I will write back to you and go, yay.
Yay.
That's all I'm writing back. Yay. It's got to be
Yay.
one word. Yay.
Yay, pencil dicks.
People agree with me. They're pencil dick fucking gutless, spineless bastards.
Oh, she's still going.
Oh, it's fucking, it gets you so angry. 5 grown-ass men against 1 young female.
Yep.
Like, it's just...
And her and her
Can't get
husband
any
were about
lower.
to reconnect and restart their relationship.
Yeah.
And she was still wearing her wedding rings. But I thought that was interesting that she had them on her right hand. So she wasn't wearing them as her wedding rings, but she still
was wearing them, yeah.
But yeah, if you have a case that you'd like us to cover, email us, DM us on Instagram, send us a pigeon.
Send us a fucking pigeon.
Still waiting for my pigeon.
Gonna get a pigeon, shove it up your ass.
Oh. That's what my farts would sound like. Sorry, that's just me. You all want to see a magic trick? Alright. Just fart out. Just fart out a bunch of feathers.
You're a fucking idiot.
Alright, we'll catch you next Tuesday. We'll see you next Tuesday. All work.
That'll work, yep.
See you next Tuesday.
Oh, you...